Hey, how we doing, everybody?
Hey guys,
Joe here.
Kevin.
I'm really excited to hop into this episode of Mad Men.
Yeah, this show is very bingeable. I am loving it. I love the fact that we get to process it a little bit because, as we said before, this is one of the very few shows that I've ever seen on television where the expectations on the audience to keep up are so high. Nothing is spoon-fed.
No,
Nothing is repeated. Nothing is laid out. It's like you better be on board with figuring out
yeah.
what's going on with these people and where we're going with them. And I love it. There's a lot of subtlety with symbolism.
Yeah.
It's utterly fantastic.
So I remember when the show was airing, when it was on TV. I was a little too young, and I just it wasn't my thing at the time
Sure.
because I was younger and I thought it was like a slow show, so I just never watched it. But AMC, when it was on air, they would show the episodes constantly, right?
Right.
So I think that actually works in this show's favor because there's a lot of stuff you could miss in an episode,
Absolutely.
but with AMC constantly running the entire show up until the next episode,
Hmm.
it gives you plenty of opportunity to rewatch the show.
Sure, sure.
And that's I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV now as far as like network goes, but I don't know if shows are still doing that.
I don't know. I think a lot of like I know HBO and I think AMC also, when they go to season premieres,
Yeah,
they will like, hey, here's the last season
yeah,
marathon right up into the premiere. Like a lot of networks do that to kind of build it up.
yeah.
But no, I think you're right. One of my favorite things about this show, and people pointed it out, and I had friends that watched, and I talked to them about it. Um, m- AMC required them to do teasers for the next week, and they didn't want to. Matt Weiner did not want to spoil anything, right?
Yeah.
So they chopped the weirdest, dumbest teasers for the next week, with completely out of context dialogue that showed you nothing. I guess that was like a running gag.
That's kind
It's
of
like you
funny.
watch the teaser and like nothing's getting spoiled because you're just gonna get one line thrown out from different characters that meant nothing.
I wonder if they showed Pete with a gun and people were just like, "What is that?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I haven't seen any of them. I
yeah.
don't know, but apparently it's a good time to watch them. Like I just watched a 60-second teaser for next week's Mad Men and have no idea what's going on next week.
That's kind of brilliant,
It is
honestly.
because he only did it because he had to. Yeah.
And this is a show like I would hate to have this show spoiled. This is
Mm.
fantastic.
Hmm.
It's like each week, like I love chewing on
Yeah, the
all the
the
material.
revelation of what the characters do.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is a character driven show, which I love.
It,
Um,
this might be one of the best character studies on TV. I mean,
yeah.
for my money, it's fantastic.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll go. You're going here.
Yes. Before we get going to the episode, if you guys are watching this on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel.
Yes,
If you don't mind hitting the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all of our new content we have coming your way.
absolutely. If you would like to see the fluent reaction to all episodes of Mad Men and everything else we're watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page.
Yeah.
We were going to. We've finished several shows, and we are going to get all the way through Mad Men over there as well.
Yeah.
So I look forward to doing the entire run of the series.
We're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Sally told Becky Pearson she should save some for the fish. And Becky ignored her. And Sally hit the back of her head and her face went into the spigot.
Wow.
She didn't need stitches in the end, I understand.
This girl, this Becky Pearson. Sally told me she's a bruiser.
She's heavy.
So, Betty's got a real issue with weight. She's had it
She
all the way through the
does.
show, like in a really terrible way.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm asking is, has anything changed at home recently?
Yeah, her grandpa died.
Yeah.
Sally didn't mention it?
Why didn't you call us or send a
Yeah.
note?
Right?
I have to use the ladies' room again.
We can talk about this another time.
No, I'm not as upset as I look. I can't help this.
Betty constantly runs away from her issues.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
just-
so does Dawn. They're both runners.
They are, but it's like Don can confront some things sometimes.
He's doing this one, yeah.
Chicago, Detroit, Newark, D.C.,
Great jazz cities.
and I left out St. Louis and Kansas City, also growing.
So largely African American cities.
Yeah.
So jazz, yeah.
Seriously, is it possible that these admirals are being bought by Negroes?
So what's everybody doing tonight? Baby, married? Kinsey, do you want to go to the Mets game?
Oh my god.
Thought I'd bring you the minutes to the meeting since you had to run off.
He's getting all kinds of irritated today, huh?
Yeah, he is. He's getting it from everybody.
You're wasting paper. You came here because we do this better than you, and part of that is letting our creatives be unproductive until they are.
Pennies make pounds, and pounds make profits.
I don't want to talk to you this way.
Campbell, this is beyond no hard feelings. I won't waste your time. Haven't I always been on your side?
Really has.
Yeah.
He's used you.
Mr. Draper?
Yes?
This is Suzanne Farrell,
Oh,
Oh.
Sally's teacher. My father died when I was 8, and I might have overdone it. Relating to Sally in that way. I didn't mean to upset your wife.
He knows what this is, right?
Yeah.
He's not an idiot.
No.
I don't know why I'm calling. I'm embarrassing myself.
No, you're fine.
All he did was sit there behind a desk.
In a
That's
kid's
all,
desk.
that's all he did.
Who was that?
No one.
Oh.
Your job's done. The solarium's down the hall to the right.
Wow.
Doing their best.
Yeah.
Different times.
I'm
You
not
don't
gonna
go
be in
in.
there,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I'm gonna go kick it
Be out here smoking a
in the
cigarette
smoking lounge. Yeah.
in a hospital.
Right.
Joseph Waddell?
I'm Dennis Hobart.
That's good to know.
I haven't seen any bar. I brought this because I thought it'd be a party in here.
It's not, but I'll have one. Whatever you want.
You done this before?
Twice. Yeah, I never thought to bring a bottle.
All right, Mrs. Draper, I'm going to need you to get on the bed so I can prepare you for delivery. This part should be familiar. I'll shave you and then give you a quick low enema.
Yeah. The enema thing?
Yeah.
I thought they just let you poo.
Yeah, I think so. I'm already giving birth. I think
Right.
it's
Yeah.
family, yeah.
It's gonna be messy.
Yeah.
I want to go home, you bitch! Please relax.
Let go of me. Get your hands off me.
He's in the waiting room.
Bullshit. It's never where you expect him to be. Have you seen him? Have you been with him?
7
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, I get it. This is a more barbaric old way of having a
Yeah,
baby.
this is horrible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she is.
She is out of it.
She is on Saturn right now. And obviously,
It's also possible she's just over medicated.
yeah. This is pre-epidural,
Right.
obviously. So I mean, I don't know how they're measuring that much.
I mean, they've been putting a lot of painkillers. Remember, she was
Yeah.
already on a lot of painkillers, and they're like, let's hit her with some Demerol.
Yeah. It's also interesting that like she said that her water never broke.
Right.
Okay, so it's me.
What are you doing here?
I had to go away.
Well, don't you miss me?
Of course.
They just gave it to her when she was passed out.
His name is Eugene.
Oh.
We don't have to decide that now.
Yeah, he doesn't want that.
Roger.
Dada.
Apparently, we're all backed up. No one will move forward without your approval.
I missed half a day.
Well, Betty had the baby, not you.
Oh my
See what I
god.
can do.
Really?
Is he trying to poach everybody?
Gotta be.
You're right.
King Poacher over here.
Look, I woke up one day and had a realization.
I should put the bottle
You
down.
two have a secret relationship. You'll be sitting on velvet pillows showered with riches, awards.
We're not going anywhere. Well, she can.
He's
Do
head
we
of
have to be
accounts,
together?
yeah.
Anything else?
Don't be a baby. You should be taking meetings like this twice a week.
If you want to woo me, you'll have to buy me my own lunch.
Yeah, he didn't like getting
Yeah.
pulled in with her too.
What type of TV do you have?
An RCA?
Really? Color? Why did you get it?
I
To
can
watch
afford
TV?
it.
The idea is that everyone's going to have a house, a car, a television. American dream.
That's not the American dream for him, man.
It's not.
Oh, Pete and his bubble.
Is the baby gonna live in Grandpa Gene's room?
It's not Grandpa Gene's room. It's the baby's room.
Is it gonna mess with her
Yeah, I think so.
having the baby named Gene
I think so.
living in Gene's room?
Well, Dot even said the baby's not named yet.
Right.
Well, I thought you were going to be a boy. Not all surprises are bad.
Oh,
That's so
that was
sweet.
actually really sweet. What was that about?
Space in these magazines costs far less than what you currently spend. Daily newspapers that go just to this market for pennies on the dollar.
And?
You could save a lot of money in advertising and hit a
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
audiences buying your
It's
TVs.
like,
What do you mean, and?
Do I have to spell it out?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
A Negro ad and a white ad. So, Campbell, you're making twice the ads for us now.
No. Do them together. Integrated.
Who's to say that Negroes aren't buying Admiral televisions because they think white people want them?
Common sense.
Yeah.
That's such a stupid thing to say. These guys are businessmen.
My secretary doesn't respect me because I make $71 more a week than she does.
Maybe we need to get you a cheaper secretary.
Come on, Dawn. She's good at her job.
You're gonna be fine, Peggy.
I look at you and I think, I want what he has.
You're not on his level. Not yet.
Not yet. Closest to it.
What if this is my time?
Oh, she's let Duck get in her head. Is she gonna quit and go work for Duck?
I hope not.
It's possible. I mean, we could follow her still on the show, just working somewhere else.
I would not like that.
I wouldn't either.
Admiral Television has no interest in becoming a colored television company.
But they are. It seems illogical to me that they would reject an opportunity to make more money.
Businesses hate that.
Let me put it in account terms. Are you aware of the number of hand jobs I'm going to have to give?
Am I being taken off the account?
Are we done with the vlogging?
Never as good as you think it's going to be.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a loud baby.
Yeah.
You don't have a monitor or anything.
Yeah, nothing. Different times.
Right.
Let it cry. I wonder if she's gonna
What's
have
going on here? Yeah. She might be struggling.
They're playing that music again.
Yeah. She had to psych herself up to go in there.
So yeah, that was psychologically. There's a lot going on with Betty right now.
Yeah.
Obviously she is struggling hard with the loss of her father. She lost her dad 2 weeks before she gave birth.
Yeah, that's rough.
So a lot of it. Okay, so I, in a weird way, I'm not saying it's reincarnation, but at the same time, in a way,
She's treating it like that.
Metaphorically,
Right.
yeah, because she named it Jean.
Which I think is weird, man. I really do.
Yeah.
I get the idea of honoring, blah blah blah, carrying the name on, but
I don't think it's that though.
it's so close. You know
That's
what I
why I
mean? The
don't think
death and
it's
the
that,
birth
yeah.
are way too close.
I
Yeah.
think, if you want to name your kid after your parent, great.
Yeah, people do it while their parent's still alive or way after they pass,
Yeah.
but a 2-week gap.
Yeah, not even a month. You know,
I mean, that's a big. Even Dawn was like, "We don't have to name it right now." That's a
Yeah.
big decision.
I mean, which I get. You know, if it was if she was more emotionally well off,
Right.
or something. But no, I think why she did that is because in her dream, you see she has the little caterpillar in her hand, right?
Right.
Obviously,
The
it's
rebirth.
a butterfly.
Yeah,
She
exactly.
sees her dad in her dream,
Right.
and then we have it living in his room.
Right. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. No, you're right. The caterpillar was a big part of that. I can bring my dad back, kind of thing, which is odd. And you notice Dawn's like, well, we don't need to make a decision now. Well, she was saying no, but when you see her smiling and signing off on the papers, he's not there. She made the decision by herself to go ahead and name the baby Jean.
Jean. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's done.
Baby Jean.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy she saw in her dream? It was her mom. Then it was the man sitting at the counter.
I thought it was the black guy.
Yeah.
I thought it was Medgar Evers, the reference to death. Because Sally was asking a lot of questions about Medgar Evers at school, and I thought that was the connection there. I don't know what Medgar Evers looks like. I'm sorry.
So I wonder if that's.
But yeah,
if that is death, you have both her parents obviously are dead.
Right.
You have
And
him
he's
there,
dead,
sick,
right.
bloody. So she literally had a meeting with death there.
yeah.
and
I mean,
death
kind of.
comes
Yeah.
Jean again,
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
So that's pretty complex, and I obviously we need to see more of this to really make a final decision if that's the case or
Sure.
not. But regardless, a very surreal episode.
Sure.
Lots of food for thought. The dentist thing was kind of strange at the end.
For sure.
When he just kind of ignores Don.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there.
I wonder if that's him being like, I'm going to be a better man. Maybe he recognizes that Don's not
Hard to say.
who he wants to be.
Right.
And so he's just
I'm not
kinda
sure. Yeah.
They shared a moment, and then it just kind of move on after that. We had a brief moment of time, and then just two
Mhm.
strangers again.
Right.
Um,
Was she holding the baby in the wheelchair, Dennis's wife, when they were leaving?
I didn't see.
I just saw.
I didn't catch it.
It looked like it was just him pushing his wife.
Well, I didn't notice it was him until he walked by.
Right.
And I was because you show Don, you see a dude walking,
Right.
a lady in a wheelchair.
There was a weird moment there for sure.
Yeah, so there's a lot under the surface of every episode.
Right.
Also, what are the chances that Don and the teacher? I think.
I think so. I think it's going to happen.
I mean, he didn't tell her who it was. He was it. He could. Oh, it's just Sally's teacher.
For sure. As soon as he's like, no, it was nobody.
He also
Because
could-
he knew she was calling to flirt.
Yeah,
I mean,
time.
for sure.
Big time. And he
I don't
was
know
like,
why I'm calling you. I'm embarrassed. I'm like, wait, what? Come on, man.
drink she had a glass of wine or something next
Yeah,
to her.
yeah.
She's like, and all he did was sit there in a student desk.
Yeah,
The power of Dawn, man.
and I think that's part of why we don't hate Don. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, Don's had a million affairs and he shouldn't have, and he's a terrible family man. Like we all acknowledge that, but at the same time, it's like someone walking up and handing him a $5 bill. You know, it's like it's not like he's asking. It's just like, well,
He literally has.
this is my world. I live in this weird bubble where I'm hot, and that's how people treat me.
He literally has women throwing themselves at him.
Like the stewardess when he was with Sal on the airplane,
Yeah.
and Sal's like, "That's never happened before." And he's like, "It hasn't," because that's just his world, you know.
Yeah,
So
I just go places
I
where
just-
women like me.
Right. He's been at restaurants and waitresses have walked by and made eyes at him.
But
I
the
mean, it's just-
California ran off with a girl, remember?
yeah, exactly.
Like
It took him 4 minutes to meet a girl to have an affair with in California.
I mean,
It's
kudos, Don.
it's interesting, yeah. Again, and a lot of the because we've been like, man, Don sucks as a family guy, and he kind of does. But a lot of the viewers have told us, it's like, you know what? He's not really that bad a dude. Other than
He's
the
not.
cheating, he's not that bad a guy, and I don't think he is.
He's not a bad guy.
It's just a question of where do you put that on your hierarchy of does this make you an evil person or not? I just think
I
he's
certainly-
broken as hell. Is
I
what I
certainly
think.
don't
Yeah,
think he's an evil person.
I don't think he's evil. I just think he's damaged goods.
I think he's got a lot of patience with people too, especially in
Sure.
the office. People in the office are, I wouldn't say evil, but a lot of them are pretty horrible.
I would tell you one thing: if I was working there at Sterling Cooper, he would be the guy I would hitch my wagon to, as far as someone
yeah.
who you would trust as your boss, who would trust as someone a confidant to work with. I would be with him more than anybody else in that office.
He's the best.
Who else? Duck. Pete's realizing right now he never should have hitched his wagon to Duck.
I know, and I don't. Going forward, I wonder. Well, okay, so that's interesting. I think there's a chance Pete might, because obviously he was reprimanded in the office for a really good idea,
Right.
and then like there's some truth to what Duck was saying.
Sure.
That being said, Duck is a failure.
Duck, that's where I'm at too. I don't think Pete was looking at Duck with any respect whatsoever for getting fired from Sterling Cooper.
Immediately, he makes this deal. He merges everything. He's the reason they're in this penny pinching downfall.
He might be the reason, and Pete might think he's the reason that he's not the head of accounts by himself.
Yeah.
Duck promised him head of accounts and ended up being split with somebody else.
And it's
Duck
Duck's
didn't
fault.
even deliver for Pete.
Here's the thing: I don't think Duck really cared.
I don't either.
It's like he promised him this just for
Right.
leverage, and
Right.
it wasn't really wouldn't have been his call to begin with. He's the
For
president,
sure.
but it's the people who run the office that make those decisions.
It's the people with the stock,
Yeah.
It would have been Don and Bert and Roger.
Yeah, which very brief Roger appearance, but as always, Roger's fantastic.
John Flaherty's so fun on this show.
He's great. Pops in for 4 minutes and he's just steals the episode.
I love how completely amoral he is, but you don't hate him for it because he knows it and he doesn't hide it.
Exactly. He's
I am who I am. Yep, that is Roger Sterling.
Very much so in the sense that he's willing to put on blackface and perform for everybody. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that wasn't gross or anything.
At all. Yeah, that was pretty terrible. But no, the show there's a lot of dynamics they have going forward. This was what episode.
I want to say 5, maybe 4
Okay.
or 5 on the season.
I feel like it's 5.
It might be 5.
So we're headed to the middle of the
Right.
season, right?
Absolutely.
And this is always when things get interesting on the show. So
Yeah, so because it's a deliberately paced, brilliant show,
Yeah.
and a lot of what they set up early in the seasons starts to unravel and pay off in the second half of the season. It's always great.
they're planting seeds with not only Pete but Peggy now
Right.
as well.
Sure.
Peggy might leave.
I think Peggy's closer to leaving than Pete, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if either one will, but if I was to place a bet, I'd say if one of them goes, it would be Peggy and not Pete. Pete's got it.
hate
Well,
that.
Pete's,
I love Peggy.
I do too, but Pete also has a stronger position there at the company too,
He does.
and less respect for Duck.
He
What
does.
what Duck said really got to Peggy. It did not get to Pete at
No, it
all.
kind of made him mad.
Yeah, it's just like I'm not going to sit here and share lunch with
Yeah.
another person you're trying to poach, you idiot.
I think he only really went for it as a courtesy.
Yeah, he did. It's like you didn't have the courtesy to have a one-on-one with me.
Yeah.
You're trying to group poach us now.
Which goes to show, that's why he's splitting accounts. I'm not splitting anything with anyone.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And I think Peggy realizes that she's got as much talent as Dawn, maybe not as refined, like as much experience as him, but she sees that she has something to offer, and I think that's where a lot of the resentment comes.
I think she's in the there was a resentment there because he's so successful financially and she's not. I think she is giving herself a little too much credit. Yeah, they're both creatives. Yeah, but they both do a little bit of the same job, and she's good at her job. She is, but like I said, man, we've seen in plenty of times in the show, Don's walked into a pitch meeting where they have no business of winning and destroys it. And I don't think Peggy could do that at all. And he's done it on the fly.
Not yet.
Right. Maybe she will. Like, she's growing.
She's still a little timid right now.
Right.
But she's growing. She's look where she is now from the beginning of the show.
Sure. Which I mean, Don's got a fair point. It's like, great, you're growing. Yeah. Here's where you are. You're paid for where you are. As you get better and as you move up and as you grow, then you get paid more.
I do think she sees herself.
She's underpaid for sure. I'm not saying she's not underpaid. But his argument of like, these people aren't giving up a nickel for anything right now. Yeah. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. It's the wrong time to ask for a raise.
And she should be making more than Kinsey.
Don't listen to Duck. Oh,
and don't listen to Duck. Duck got in her head, and that's why that whole conversation happened.
But I do think that if she has more time, she could be Don's equal.
Oh, I agree.
And I think she sees herself as Donnie.
She's just a decade behind him is all. You know what I mean?
Well, you say Duck got to her, but also Don got to her. With all the personal stuff they've shared, I mean, like, forget it. It'll shock you how much it didn't happen. Yeah. I think
that's amazing. Yeah, it is. I just feel like that she is seeing herself as Don's equal a little prematurely before she's Don's equal. I think she has a lot of the same skills. I think she's getting a lot better, but there are things that Don can do that she can't do. Including walk in and, and
walk right out.
I mean, I just mean walk in and completely take over a room.
Yeah.
She doesn't have that. When Don walks into, like, even the meeting that he didn't really stay at, he walks into a room, everybody takes notice. He walks out of the room, everybody takes notice. Peggy doesn't have that.
Not yet.
Not yet. She doesn't have that presence. She surely doesn't have the sex appeal that Don does, which works for him in so many situations.
Yeah.
He's a man that men want to be.
He is. She's kind of struggling with that, right? Mm-hmm. Because she wanted to be Anne Margaret so bad.
Right. Yeah.
And I think she's kind of dealing with her own sex appeal as well. I mean, like she's
a lovely girl that men want, but it's not the same as with Dawn.
She's very conservative.
Right.
And I think she's branching out.
She's trying.
Don't leave Sterling Cooper to go for Duck. Duck is the
Duck. No, I feel like Duck is a time bomb everywhere he goes. Duck is doomed for failure everywhere he goes.
We should say this. I mean, like, I can't believe that we actually saw Duck. I'm kind of
glad. Yeah,
I thought he was gone.
I thought he'd come back, but I didn't know when and in what capacity. I'm kind of glad he's back. Because he's a good character to hate.
We need a resolution to his character. Like we need an ending to his character.
I think he's going to get fired from the job he's at and try to come back to Sterling Cooper. Is what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, right.
I think Don or Roger is going to get a phone call from Duck saying, "Are you hiring? Because I got clients, because he got fired."
And I have Pete and I've got Peggy.
Yeah, exactly. I think Duck is that kind of worm that's just going to bounce from job to job to job because Sterling Cooper was the second time he's gotten fired. And he's only been on the show for a season. He came to them because he got fired.
He's quite the antagonist of the show. He really is. He's the closest thing we have to a villain on the show.
I think so. I thought it was going to be Pete, but it's not. Pete has kind of grown on me.
I'm really conflicted about Pete this episode because, like, I think
I like Pete enough. He's an arrogant
too.
He's an arrogant jerk, but I like him.
It was weird how he was handling the whole TV thing. Like, he had a point, but in a way, it's kind of gross.
No, for sure.
I get it's a different time, and I get it's true. The sales were up for that specific product. But the way he would ask the elevator guy,
the elevator operator, I really feel like I just think that he was trying to have an honest conversation. He said he was, but Pete comes from such a place of privilege that he doesn't understand that you can't have the same conversation with him that you can have with an executive from another company. It's not this; they're not the same person.
He's like, "Oh, you didn't grow up with helpers?" And
exactly, right, yeah.
You didn't go vacation at Cape Cod?
Because the guy's like, I have bigger things on my mind than what I'm watching on TV.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Dude, there's a world beyond being an executive. Yeah, exactly.
So,
All right, we've rambled a long time here. We'll catch you on the next one, guys.
See you guys.